I think part of the reasons people like Hot Ones is because it's like, it's kind of sanitary. It's like the new version of television. It's got a lot of mass appeal. Even if you like a lot of stuff that's more unhinged, like Barstool's type stuff, you're like, yeah, I can do Hot Ones if there's somebody good on there. But if you want stuff that's a little more sanitary, like television, you can still do Hot Ones. It's got a lot of mass appeal. If Barstool took it another direction, then
I've got another buyer.
Okay, Shane Gillis.
Close.
Okay,
Donald Trump. Take some of that campaign budget, put it in the production of Hot Ones.
He's like, I match the sauces.
You interview your political opponents, make them eat your hot sauce. I don't know how you book them. Move. You just give them enough money they can't refuse it.
Worry about that later.
You make them offer you can't refuse. A lot of people, they can't handle hot sauce.
The YouTube show Hot Ones might be doomed to fail. A few years ago, they got acquired by the company BuzzFeed, and BuzzFeed is now looking to sell the show, and they want over $70 million for it. The problem is there is no buyers. So we're going to get into it today, why they could succeed, why they could fail, and also the business connected to Hot Ones, which is the hot sauce brand Heatonist. This is Dark Mode, the business comedy podcast where we talk about business with entrepreneurs and comedians. My name is John Coyle. I'm a marketing consultant. My clients do over $500 million in revenue per year. Today, I'm here with a very special guest, my best friend, still has wet dreams, Casey. Casey, you ready to go? You ready to do this?
I'm as ready as I'm going to get, John.
Also, Casey makes ads that sell things.
Yeah. I mean, you said that this is a show that you shoot with entrepreneurs and comedians, of which I am neither.
Yeah. I mean, you're kind of entrepreneur-y.
Entrepreneur adjacent, maybe.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll take that. I'm actually...
Like, you knew a guy who started a business one time.
I've met plenty of entrepreneurs, I guess. You know, like...
you bought a Girl Scout cookie, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely. Is that an investment I made?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you've supported entrepreneurship.
Okay. Yeah. No, definitely.
By buying Girl Scout cookies. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's right up my alley. I'm actually...
Like, I bought a lot. I mean, I'm an expert then. I bought a lot of Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah. I had my share of Girl Scout cookies. What's your favorite kind of Girl Scout cookie?
I'm a Thin Mint guy. I mean, that's a stock answer, but I hate the coconut ones. And I feel like those are the only two that they're really good at. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I don't want to be the marketing guy, like focusing on the marketing too much. I am a creative strategist in marketing. Why, like Thin Mints? Sure.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of the other names, and I probably would have forgotten.
Samoas.
Are those the peanut butter ones?
No, I think that's the coconut ones.
No. There's some like pure peanut butter delicious ones. Those are my favorite.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are.
Well, now we're on.
But I feel like that's a marketing problem that they have. I mean, who would have thought Girl Scouts weren't pro marketers?
Yeah.
I mean, they sell a ton of cookies, so what do I know? But for those who don't know, which is everybody who's listening, I'm a creative strategist in e-commerce marketing mostly. I work at Tierra Marketing Agency. Look us up if you're looking for a new marketing agency. Maybe you could work with me. I promise I won't forget your product names.
I love that. I love the plug. Yeah. I won't forget your product names. If you worked at the Girl Scouts of America, were a client, you would know all of them. And they are Thin Mints, Girl Scout S'mores, Lemon Ups.
What?
Tagalones?
Oh, tagalongs.
Yeah, not tagalongs.
Sure. What does that even mean? That doesn't speak to the product at all.
It means that it is crispy cookie layered with peanut butter and covered with chocolatey coating.
See, that's the coconut one you were talking about. That's not peanut butter, though. By the way, forget BuzzFeed and Hot Ones. We're talking about Girl Scout cookies for the rest of the episode.
Tagalongs are the peanut butter ones. Samoas are the coconut ones. Do-si dos are oatmeal. Toffee Tastic is toffee, Thin Mint. Trefoils, iconic shortbread. Those are the shortbread ones.
Why are they called these things? Why aren't they just shortbread cookies?
I haven't eaten most of these.
Why? Because you don't know how you don't know what they are when you're looking at the menu. They're just how would I know what a tagalong is?
I think you just know at this point.
A tagalong sounds like the shit that's stuck in your butt hairs. Like, am I wrong? That's what it sounds like. Just tagging along for the rest of the ride. You were supposed to get off the last stop.
I think there's already a word for that.
This is why I get paid the big bucks, guys. I'm dissecting product names.
Yeah, now this is your main job. When Casey got into marketing, he thought his main job was to come up with puns and rhymes.
Wordplay.
Yeah.
Which, hey, to be fair, anybody you ever meet who just like dips their toe into marketing, that's what they think it is.
Yeah.
You don't know how many client calls.
Do you write jingles or?
Dude, every single client call, the person who like never speaks up, but they think like, oh, I've got this marketing idea. Let's rhyme. Whoa, hold the phone. We're gonna go crazy.
Holy shit,
revolutionary
you think of that
idea. Wow. Whoa. Forget all the like data that we've collected and you know all the science that's gone into this. Let's just rhyme.
If we make something catchy, people will buy it.
Yeah. Fire your marketing agencies. Just rhyme with your product names, you know. If you sell bicycles.
Can you make a
I mean,
I should have bailed you out. I should have just interrupted you.
Yeah, icicles.
Yeah, icicles, bicycles.
Rhyme it with that.
Icicles, bicycles. Come get one and
icicles though.
And
honestly,
give it a tricycle. No, because that's a different kind of product. Tricycle.
I know that we're making fun of the rhyming, but honestly, a bicycle company named Icicles.
I think if somebody launched a company that just like rhymed like that, I would think I would be like, is Eminem an investor in this? Like, we got icicles, bicycles. You know what I'm saying?
Way too many icicles.
Yeah.
Get on my bicycle.
Yellow. I don't know. He can rhyme with yellow.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good
or
one.
orange. No, he can rhyme with orange.
Yeah.
He can rhyme with orange, he says.
Nah, you know.
He just slant rhymes it.
This was supposed to be your segue
We're
from
talking
like
about something
icicles to hot ones. Like melt the icicles.
Ice, heat, hot ones,
hot.
Heatonist. All right, so
Flawless transition.
Heatonist. Are they what do you know anything about Heatonist? You watch the show sometimes, or when a guest is on that you like it?
That's it. Sean Evans, right, is the host.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I watch my share of podcasts.
It's one of the biggest things on YouTube.
Yeah, you know, I like to be one of the guys who's like, I was kind of there before it was cool.
Yeah.
Podcasting is something I've enjoyed for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't watch every episode by any means, but
right.
You know, usually when they have a good guest, it's one of those shows. I think that's how most people probably operate around Hot Ones. Is like, oh, I know that person, I like that person.
Yep.
Hot Ones is a fun show. I'm gonna watch that one. I would never just sit and watch like a whole season of Hot Ones necessarily, though.
Yeah. So
I do think I'd be great at it. To be fair,
I think you would kill it.
That's so up my alley.
If this podcast ever gets huge and you and I are co-hosts, like you're going to be our representative at Hot Ones, because I would be awful.
Well, I mean, if you're on the show, you're eating the wings. That's happening. So even if you were tag teaming, you'd have to.
Yeah. I would have something else that weekend. I would have another engagement to be at that I would need to be at
by proxy, like
right, yeah.
Well, I mean, you could just fail the challenge.
They would invite me on, and you just show up. And you'd be like, hey, John,
"Who's this guy?"
I'm John's hot sauce double.
Just had a shit ton of plastic surgery. Don't worry about it. I'm the same guy in spirit. No, I mean, I'm built for that show. I've multiple times in my life, multiple instances I can think of. I've had dares, challenges from people just like, hey, this thing's hot. I dare you to try something, and I'll just down it, like the entire thing.
And you're like, it wasn't that hot.
Oh, no, that's not how it ends usually.
Okay.
But
you're just like, I just don't care about the outcome.
That's for future Casey to worry about. Are you kidding me? I have a choice to make.
It's just so immediate.
I can just man up and do this and be the guy for a second, in which case I'll always do. And then later on, I'm like, oh, I'm so not the guy. But
that's
for a
true.
moment,
You're big on like low stakes. Like if other people don't care that much about it,
yeah,
you'll be like, I'll be that guy.
It's my time to shine.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, we're doing like a casual, fun competition amongst friends. Nobody's taking it that seriously. You're like, I mean, I'm going to win it. And I'm that guy. But if we're doing something serious that everyone's trying at, I'm like, you guys seem like you're trying too hard at this.
Well, I mean, eventually we're going to get into the case study at hand. But like, I mean, for those who don't know, we were on a childhood baseball team together growing up. I remember on one of those road trips we were on, traveling baseball team, not a big deal about it. We were pretty good. That was back in middle school, by the way. So not exactly not professional athletes here. Well, actually, you were pretty you were a
not a professional baseball player.
Yeah. Anyway, we went to some Mexican restaurant or something, and they had this like hot salsa or whatever, and everybody was just pussyfooting around it, like, ooh, dipping it. Oh my God, it's so hot. And so we're just like, I dare you to drink some of it. And I drank the entire thing. That's not even what they meant by the challenge, but that's how I took it.
I didn't know you did that.
Yeah. I mean, that's just so up my alley, Yeah. Also drank a bottle of Tabasco sauce in college to get off a study table. Not a big deal. It was a terrible idea.
I think if I was offered something like that, I might do it.
I would definitely do it again. Yeah, that's kind of my, if you didn't know anything about me, now you do. Yeah. And we can move on.
Right. I feel like that was a better intro than the creative strategist at Tierra thing. You're like, if you want to work with me.
If you want, I'll tell you right now, for dark mode offer only, if you sign up As a client at
First month
Tierra,
free.
you can watch me chug a bottle of Tabasco. I'm just going to float that on out there.
Yeah, that's part of the offer. Yeah.
There we go. I'll do it. Well, only once.
Okay, so in your mind, did you know the name of the brand of hot sauce associated with before I said it?
Not as Heatonist. I know they have like one of theirs in the lineup, and I probably would remember that product name, but no.
Well, Heatonist is the brand that makes the whole lineup.
Which wordplay also.
Yeah. Yeah, big fan.
It's good marketing.
Yeah, I get you. That's how you know it's good marketing, was when there's heat in the name.
Yeah.
So Heatonist, a lot of people. So Hot Ones is looking. They're shopping the show right now. BuzzFeed has about like $1 billion in debt that they're trying to pay down. Their stock price is in the toilet, and Hot Ones is one of their only like real money makers, and so they're trying to sell it and pay off some of their debt. By $1 billion, I think it's actually 100 million. I think I got an extra zero on there. But
all right, add a couple more.
Yeah,
it's actually
it's like 100
quadrillion.
What is that?
Dollar company?
Is that a real quadrillion? Quadrillion?
It is now.
I don't know. So they've got a bunch of debt. They're trying to sell off Hot Ones. They're trying to move it for about 70 million, and nobody's buying Hot Ones. And I think that a big reason is because of something that not a lot of people know. So there was this group on Twitter that was like, hey, we should get together and buy it. They're an e-commerce group and they think they could blow up Heatonist. Fun fact, Heatonist is not part of Hot Ones. They are two separate companies that have a partnership together.
Interesting.
And I think that's a big reason that people are shopping Hot Ones, but they're not buying it because they're like, they get into like the meetings and they're like, oh, it doesn't come with the hot sauce. Like, it's just like, you don't even, whatever sales the hot sauce is doing.
Yeah.
So what I want to do really quick is I want to break down Heatonist for you, and then we can, maybe make some predictions or some suggestions of what Hot Ones should do, or who could buy Hot Ones that could actually, do well with it. So Heatonist was started by a guy named Noah. I don't know how to say his last name, but I'm gonna give it the best. I'm gonna give it a college try. I think it's Chaimberg. Chaimberg. Chaim Berg. Berg.
Let's call it Shameberg. I like that we could just shame him throughout the whole episode.
Noah Chaimberg, from what I've gathered, he was a consultant before that, which I don't know what the hell that means, even though I'm one. like when somebody's like a consultant at Deloitte or whatever, I'm like, what is that? They're like, yeah, like I consult with companies. Like, what the
okay.
Yeah. I'm much more clear now. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that clears it up. I'm pretty well versed in it now, honestly.
Yeah,
I think
I feel like
the equivalent of like a master's degree, probably you just gave me.
So he was a consultant for one of those like consulting companies like Deloitte, or I don't know, there's another big one. And
Deloitte, like he's Deloitte. No, not that. That's not what they are.
It's not your best material, I think.
All right.
We could just move on. From
you throw stuff over the wall, see what sticks.
Yeah, that's I get it. It was you're workshopping it. It's good.
You're supposed to have a comedian on these things. Where's the actual comedian?
So he's consulting, and he like gets into the hot sauce community. This is a thing, and this is around.
That's a real? I guess there's communities for everything now.
Well, you got to rewind about 12 years. So this is 2011, 2012. People aren't selling things online as much back then. Like it's not unheard of.
Yeah.
But like this is back when, I don't know if you like the original like Dollar Shave Club ads, and you're like, oh, they sell the razors online. Wow. I don't even have to go to the store anymore.
Whoa.
Yeah. And they sent them to me every month.
So this is when people were buying hot sauces in stores.
Yes, they were buying hot sauce in store, and he's in New York City. So he's like, I think he's a Brooklyn guy, and New York has like a lot of little sort of pockets of like
homeless people.
Homeless people who beat up homeless people.
Yeah, bad drivers.
Right.
I'm walking here.
I think
Did you, in your time in New York, have you heard anybody say I'm walking here? I feel like that's the go-to. Everybody says that. When pretend to be a New Yorker and not say that. It's impossible.
When you step outside in New York, it's all people say.
Like in unison. So, hey,
it's a cacophony. You really you can't even get shit done. You're like, I'm trying to have a conversation. You're on
cell phone and you see somebody come out the room. Oh, hold on.
Yeah. This guy's got to tell me about how he's walking here. Hang on. So he's like in Brooklyn, and he's going to like these farmers markets, and he gets into hot sauce of all things, which there's like so many good things at farmers markets. You know what I mean? Like there's lots of good food there, especially in New York. There's like and he's like, you know what I am into? Not the people who make the chicken or the wing, like just the sauce. But that's what he gets into. And So he gets plugged into that community, and he realizes like they're like it's so much better than what's available in the store. Like, cause this is kind of Tabasco just sort of rules. I think Sriracha probably is in the game at this point. Right. And he's like, it's just so much better. So he starts this business in a really interesting way that I think is like a great sort of 0 to 1. Cause a lot of e-commerce brands, physical product brands, they go get money from friends and family, or they take out, like they need some money initially to get some product. But what he does is he goes to like all of the like vendors, and he just says, hey, can I buy like, you know, a little bit like a bulk pack from you? And he spends like $1,000 with a few different, I don't know how many for sure, a few different ones of these guys who like are making their own hot sauce at home. And he curates a pack of like 4 or 5 that he didn't make any of them.
Okay.
And then he goes to Home Depot.
As one does with their hot sauce.
Right, yeah. I mean, this is exactly where we thought we were going with the story, I'm sure.
Obviously.
He goes to Home Depot and he like gets materials, and I don't know what materials he gets, because I don't know. I would never do this. He builds a push cart. So like how New York
in the store, or
no, I think he buys the stuff there. You know,
right, well,
he might build it in the store.
Bad storytelling, honestly. I got confused.
I feel that you should buy it in the store, right? Because you should build it in the store. Because and if you're having problems, you could like ask the people, like, hey,
you know exactly what it costs.
You guys know how to build a push cart, right?
I don't want to pay for any of the materials I didn't use. I cut that 2 by 4 in half.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like most Home Depot employees wouldn't know how to build a push. They'd be like, yeah, dude, this is a third most common thing people need from us.
Sure. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, they should have that on the wall too. Here are the most common items bought here.
Here's the most common shit people are trying to do when they come here.
Just like inspo ideas that honestly could
just
generate more business for them. Be like, I wasn't going to build a picnic table, but now that I see a lot of people build picnic tables, now I want one.
I actually just think we're now like strategizing business and content marketing for Home Depot, because I think that's a great idea. Like,
let's go next episode.
Here's the most common shit people are trying to do when they wander in here. Like, oh, fuck, where's everything? Yeah, that's basically how you walk around Home Depot. By the way.
Oh yeah.
Like you just look up. It's so tall. Why is everything so tall?
Well, they got to fit a lot of stuff in there. Add the third dimension.
Yeah.
Voila.
You're like looking up, like the thing you need is going to be on the top, right? Like you never like, oh, there's no way it's at eye level. It's got to be up there. And you just wander around. That's how you go to
wander around, of course. If you don't go down the same aisle 4 or 5 times before you find what you need, you're not doing it right in Home Depot. But
if you get out of Home Depot and get what you need, and you didn't get to the brink of giving up, like they just don't have it here, then you did it wrong.
100%.
You didn't go to Home Depot correctly.
Also, if you're a child, for all the kids out there listening to Dark Mode, if you're not, sliding in between boxes and getting lost in the shelves, you're doing it wrong as well. That was my favorite memories.
Yeah, if your parents get out of there without thinking they might have just lost you forever, and it's like, you know what? Like, we just cut our losses on that one.
Every single time, probably before the age of 10, right around that time is probably when I stopped with such shenanigans. Every single time we went into Home Depot as a family, my name was getting called over the intercom thing, because they're like, where the hell did this little fucker go?
Yeah, especially your dad. Your dad seems like a guy who knows what he's doing inside a Home Depot.
Pretty loose leash. He was pretty project based, right? In there, yeah. He was like, "Oh shit, I have a kid." Yeah. I think there's honestly, I might be making this up, but there's probably been some times he drove away. It was like, "Oh no,
damn it!"
We lived close to Home Depot. It wasn't a big deal.
You did.
We really did. Yeah, it was like 3 blocks away.
Like your dad's like, I don't know, I was thinking about the fence. I left him. I
went to summer camp at Home Depot one year. It was great. Best time of my life.
That's not a joke. You really did a summer camp.
Yeah, I played for the Home Depot baseball team, Little League. It's fine. You guys, it's okay.
I played for Burger King.
It's a second home to me.
Yeah.
Much like Burger King was to you.
Yeah.
You were the Burger Duke, as far as I know.
Yeah. It's a Burger Prince.
No, don't get carried away.
Yeah. Where were we? Oh yeah, he built a push cart. Okay. So like how the vendor like street cart sort of
sure hot dogs kind of thing. Yeah.
Like
peanuts.
With that part of what you see on TV in like New York is like those exist for sure.
Cool.
So he builds one of those, and there are already people going to these marketplaces and so, like he can't just take the curation to the like farmers market and sell it because he's like, yeah, no, this product is just all those guys' shit, just all together. Like, so he can't do that. So he's like, well, where am I going to sell this? So he starts going to like concerts, and like he'll either pay for a vendor booth, or if there's like movies in the park, he'll pay for a vendor booth, or if he can like just be outside for free, he'll do that. And it cost him about $3,000 to build this push cart, just to get the materials, and then he built it himself. And then he went to this concert, and the first night he sold about $1,000 worth of hot sauce.
At a concert,
out of the push cart.
I mean, are they selling food at the concert as well?
This is my question. You had the same question I had. Like, how did he sell hot sauce at a concert?
Also, very dangerous.
Like, you know what I like when I see Tech Nine? Some hot sauce to go along with it, of course. Yeah,
throw back the sauce.
Right.
No, yeah, I mean, you know how unruly crowds throw like food on the stage? If all that you have are bottles of hot sauce. That's next level. I mean, that gets dangerous real quick.
Do not bomb.
Because yeah, literally there's like one of the hot sauces on Hot Ones I know is called the bomb. I mean, and as soon as one gets, nobody throws one thing on stage, right? Like that's when it rains, it pours is an expression for, and when hot sauce rains, people get hurt.
It's serious. It's serious. Yeah. So he's selling at concerts, and people are loving it. I don't know how he's like. The thing I wonder is like, because he's like letting them try it, and they're like, "Oh, this is so cool." You know, they're trying it out. How? What is he letting them try it on? Like, is he just dipping it on their finger? Does he have like some white bread there? Does he have wings? Is he like, you get a wing? You get a wing for free if you try this hot sauce. Also, what happens if people get in over their head? Is he just like, that's your problem?
I'm also selling bottles of water for about $20
He's
a
like,
pop.
I got some milk in this cooler. Like, what? I mean, that would be actually pretty smart. I think we're just improving all of these businesses all along the way. Yeah. Home Depot, you're welcome. We'll send you a bill. So he's doing that. And New York, so there's another story this reminded me of. New York is sort of this like city that a lot of people come to, right? So what happens is people
This is perfect. This is what we needed, was another rabbit hole in the story. But I mean, please.
People buy from him. Oh, I have like a parallel here from like old-timey times. People buy from him, and then they're like, well, I like this a lot, and I would like to buy more of it. And how do I do that? And he's just like, well, I'm going to be at the Tony Yayo concert next month, like whatever, you know, like.
Wait, these are the old timey times?
No. I have a different parallel in a second.
Okay.
Sorry. Right. I lost you. Like, probably lost listeners too, viewers. So he has no way to sell it to people who are like, I like this. I would like to give you more money. And he's like, well, I hadn't thought about that, you know? And so he
starts for the love of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, luckily Shopify is kind of like really moving along at this point. So he's like, okay, cool. I can put a Shopify site up. So he puts it up. And so he actually starts, just from doing this, he starts actually growing his online sales quite a bit, because people like come to concerts, they go back to wherever they're from. And, you know, then now he's shipping orders to Missouri and China.
Missouri.
Hell, all the places, right? He's shipping orders everywhere.
Love it.
And
I think Hell has their own hot sauce.
Yeah, well, I mean,
if there's one thing they've got.
I meant Canada, but I was being polite.
Fair.
Yeah. So he's shipping orders, and he's done a few interviews on this. It's because my question was like, okay, well, what was like that next stage? And he did the push cart for a couple years, he said. So it was like 2013, 14, he was doing the push cart. And then they opened up a local, like a store in New York.
Okay.
So like you can go into a Heatonist, it's still there. You can go into the Heatonist store and I guess probably buy hot sauce, but also try it. And that was like 2015, I think he did that. And he's been asked like, well, how did you grow your online sales and stuff? And he said, we did nothing to grow our online sales. It was just all through people who purchased it. And then we're like it was all repeat purchases in their online sales and word of mouth, people telling their friends and stuff like that. And whenever a business owner tells me it's all word of mouth, I never believe them, but I like kind of believe this guy.
I guess. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know why you believe this guy, but all right.
Because he was asked like really specifically, like, were you running Facebook ads, Google ads? I listened to an interview with him, and he's like, no, we didn't do any of that. We just made sure. He's like, we could barely keep up with shipping the orders out. So like, I was more concerned with like, let's make sure we get all these orders out on time and get the right products in there and stuff. They were like, he was doing it in his basement, and he was, for a few years, he was still working while he was doing this. So cause he was asked so specifically, I kind of believe him. And also this is maybe a weird point to reveal this, but I have some inside sources for this brand. So some of the things that I'll talk about.
Got a mole and
Yeah.
Heatonist?
Some of the things I'll talk about, and I'm not trying to like blow up their spot or anything like that. I probably know more than I will say here, but some of the stuff I'll talk about is like maybe not public knowledge, but it is my knowledge.
Dang,
So
this is the real dark mode version of.
I think that's probably the value I bring to a business pod is that like, I don't know, I know a lot of people and I could give them a call and probably get some info that's not already out there.
All right.
So
Have we missed the old timey?
yeah, you want
portion?
that? So
I can't move past it. You know.
Yeah. What is the name of this business? It's a bakery in Texas, and they made the news because a guy laundered a bunch of money from him a few years ago. It is called Collins Street Bakery.
Creative name.
Yeah. It's classic Texas name. It's
Is
been
it
around.
a street bakery because it's so hot in Texas you can bake things on the street?
Yeah. Collins Street. I think it might be on Collins Street.
Oh, Collins Street. Not
Yeah.
Collins.
Collin.
Like apostrophe.
Collin Street.
Interesting.
Collin Street.
I like my way better. I'm just going to
Yeah.
imagine there's a dude named Colin out there on the street frying bread.
That checks out because it's not called Collins Street. It's not like it's his street. He doesn't own the street. It's Collin Street. And the people are like, that's the street that crazy guy's on. He puts stuff out there and bakes it. So it's been around for like 100 years. And it is in Corsicana, Texas. It's like a small Texas town, but the railroad used to run through there. And so it would stop there and people would get off and they would buy fruitcake at Collins Street Bakery. I don't know why fruitcake made me laugh. Then the word fruitcake is just funny. I'm sorry. They would buy fruitcake at Collins Street Bakery.
If they have fruitcakes, why don't they have vegetable cakes?
I think that's called quiche, right?
I don't know. You tell me, quiche boy.
I'm fancy, bro. I know about quiche.
I couldn't even tell you how to make quiche. Pretty sure there's eggs involved, but that's
I
about
think
it.
there's some eggs. This seems like some. I don't know anything. We're not going down the quiche rabbit hole. All right.
All right.
So yeah,
you can probably put hot sauce on quiche.
Yeah.
So this is
Collins Street Bakery. No, we're still on Collins Street Bakery. Just let me finish this thought. God. All right. So they would like sell, and they had like this really good fruitcake. So they made this great recipe for fruitcake, and fruitcake got popular because it keeps. So people could buy it. They could bring it on the train with them. It doesn't need to be refrigerated. Because it's dried fruit. The fruit is dried.
okay.
So
I'm glad you put that in there because I'm like, bread doesn't
Yeah,
even
I
keep
saw
that
your
well.
face.
But you had fruit, something that keeps historically very poorly. Somehow fruitcake keeps very well.
look, dude, in the 1900s, they cared less about wilted fruit. All right.
It's probably true.
So they were, but like people would be like, this is really good. Like, I would like to give you more money and have you mail this to me. So they started a mail order catalog that back in the 1900s, they were like freaking one of the original ship to you brands.
Mail order fruitcake.
Yeah, like, and a lot of people say they might have been the first mail order company in America. So fun little backstory there. But that kind of reminds me of what happened with Heatonist. Is they were just like in this hub where a bunch of people come and they're like, I would like more of this. How do I do that? And
Now it all makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. So bringing it back.
So when do they put the fruit in the hot sauce?
He does put fruit in hot sauce.
Okay. All right. You were ready for that
It was
one.
like, that's coming later.
All right. You hit my fastball.
Yeah.
All right. Touche.
He's I mean, I don't know if I would have gotten to this, but I will tell you. So they, the last dab hot sauce that goes on like the end, that is a different recipe every year. And their thing is that every year they're going to put an ingredient on it that's never been put in any hot sauce.
Right. If I'm like, the last dab isn't the name of the hot sauce, right? It's like the name of that portion of the show. Like the last dab. It's like the segment. We've gotten to the last.
This is unclear to me.
I think it's clear to me. I think that
because like Noah refers to the hot sauce as the last dab when he speaks, but it might be called something else.
Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna keep Sean as my hot sauce authority.
Yeah, Pepper X was the original. It was the original last dab hot sauce, and I'll get to that in a second. But they put a different ingredient in it every year that has never been put in hot sauce before. So like he said this year,
shoelaces.
It's like pomegranate. I mean, You're close, very close. So close.
Next year's. I just unveiled next year's surprise.
Yeah. Damn it, Casey. Now they got to change it.
Computer chips.
Everybody's buying from NVIDIA these days.
Yeah, it's actually AI. We put it into the hot sauce. It's really hot right now. Everybody's into the AI stuff.
It's hair from Allen Iverson's head.
Oh, yeah. But talking about hot sauce.
Talk about hot sauce. So where was I in this Heatonist store? Oh, yeah, they're selling online.
Give up on this right now. Just kidding.
They're selling on. People are starting to buy online, and he's literally just only worrying about like getting the orders right. Like he is struggling to even get the orders out the door. And meanwhile, you got Sean Evans and the other founder of Hot Ones, and his name is escaping me. Founders of Hot Ones. Let's see.
But Thomas Jefferson.
Chris Schomburger.
Pretty close.
So Sean Evans, Chris Schomburger come up with this idea for a YouTube show, and at the time, I said Tony Yayo earlier because he was on my mind. He was
the old timey concert that people were going to.
Yeah.
With their fruitcakes.
People from the 1900s with fruitcake would like, if you said like just put him in a Tony Yayo concert, how would they react to that? You think they'd be into it? They'd be like, damn, these are some tracks though. I couldn't dropping bars.
I couldn't tell you anything that people from the 1900s were into. I mean, the 1900s. It was 1900s we existed in. So,
yeah.
But
90s kids would have liked.
I just think of that as like the time when kids were playing with like sticks and wheels. Just like you've seen footage of that.
Yeah, what was the average American's life like in the? Because we only have
just like records being entertained by that.
We only have records of people who were like noteworthy from like old times.
Oh yeah.
So
stand still for 45 minutes
like,
to take a picture of yourself.
Yeah, what about like
hold on, I gotta take a selfie.
What about like just Jim who worked at the factory? You know what I mean? Like, what was his life like? I don't know.
Not long.
We only know what the other people say about them. Like, the poor folk were not happy about that.
It's true.
So they reach out. Sean and Chris, they do a couple episodes. The first one was Tony Yayo, and then the next one. So for season 1 of Hot Ones, Tony Yayo, Anthony Rizzo from the Chicago Cubs, Machine Gun Kelly. I didn't know Machine Gun Kelly was relevant back in 2015. I guess so. He's been around for a minute. Gunplay, Ja Rule. I also didn't know he was relevant in 2015. They're really big on rappers.
Okay.
B.O.B. You remember them?
I don't think I do.
What did they sing? I don't know. Prince Amukamara.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And then
they were big on athletes.
Yeah, Rizzo and
Mukamara, famous corner.
And then of course
NFL.
DJ Khaled.
Another one?
Yeah. So it was like all rappers and athletes in season 1.
I mean, I haven't seen that episode, but I hope every single time the 8 week is like, another one? Another one? Another one? We the best.
So they reached
We
out.
the hottest. Hot sauce.
So they reached out to Heatonist, and they're like, hey, do you want to have us do the hot sauce on the show, or you want to do the hot sauce on the show? And Heatonist is like, that's pretty cool. And they're like, okay, well, could you make like the hottest hot sauce that exists? Ooh. And the guy at Heatonist, Noah, he's like plugged in to the hot sauce community.
Right. You mentioned that part.
And the hot sauce community is made up of 2 kinds of people. The first kind is people who grow peppers. They farm pepper, like they're, this is your growers, all right? They're
not showers.
They're not showers. Their basement's full of, vertical gardening with red lights. It's pretty down low stuff, right? And they're trying to grow peppers. And then the other type of person who's in the hot sauce game is somebody who cooks hot sauce. And to cook hot sauce, it looks a lot like cooking meth.
I mean, this is all very parallel to drugs.
Yeah.
Vertical gardening.
It really is.
Cooking.
It's like when he talks about it, I'm like, were you in hot sauce? What's in this shit? Like, what? So yeah. Like,
so he got hooked up with Walter White. He started cooking hot sauce.
If you want to get in the hot sauce game, you use your knowledge as a high school chemistry teacher.
Love it.
And then you put on a suit, you got a mask. This is no joke. The suit and mask thing, the high school chemistry thing, that was a joke. Suit and mask, you actually do that to cook hot sauce.
Sure. Imagine there's some stuff that you don't want in your orifices.
Yeah. And your kids, they're all blind. You only have blind kids if you're in the hot sauce. You got to make sacrifices. And so he hits up a person he knows. I can't remember the guy's name, but they still partner with him. And he said, I knew that he was in the Guinness Book of World Records for breeding the hottest pepper in the world.
Nice.
And he knew him, which I didn't know that they called making peppers breeding. How do you breed? How do you think you breed peppers?
Well, I mean, they're living things, I suppose. That makes sense.
Like, you introduce them to each other.
Yeah.
See if they get along.
I mean, first, obviously, it starts on an app and they swipe right on each other.
Right. Yeah.
Then they, they talk, feel each other out for a minute.
Yeah.
They ask,
you weren't trying to force them. This is 2024.
What kind of peppers are you into?
Yeah.
Like,
what are your values?
Yeah.
But, do you ever think like a?
That's not how you get the hottest peppers. We're not talking about values.
But that's what
they mostly come from broken homes, honestly, these peppers.
Yeah, they're a little sketchy. Do you ever think like a nice, innocent, like green bell pepper like falls for like a, Carolina ghost pepper?
Ooh, I don't think that bell pepper can handle that. That's like,
I think maybe for a summer, you know what I mean?
That's like the guy who,
it's
that's
like a summer,
your average friend from like high school who's like, I think it'd be pretty rad to date a stripper. You're like, buddy, you can't handle that. I don't think you can do that, dude. That's a 10 speed and you got 1 speed.
I think, maybe she does it for a summer, but she ends up settling down with like, a yellow jalapeno. They have a few, in-betweeners.
Are there yellow jalapenos?
Yeah,
like
maybe a green jalapeno.
Like in nature. The yellow ones
she just ends up settling down. Like, he's got just enough spice, but he's stable. You know what I mean? He's not that ghost pepper. He's getting famous. He's in the one chip challenge. She sees him. She knows. She's like,
true.
I remember that summer. And every time she sees him, she knows. But
well, you can't compete with the supernatural elements of peppers.
Yeah.
But anyway. Reaper is also kind of like supernatural.
Right. So this guy,
hot sauce marketing, really out of control. Everything's like hell based or, it's very dark.
Basically, it's like, do you like pain? Then you'll love this.
Yeah. Are you a Heatonist?
Yeah. So they make a pepper that is, he makes
the hottest pepper in the world.
Hottest pepper in the world. And they make the hot sauce that's the hottest hot sauce in the world. And they were trying to license the name.
Bring them out. Let's try them.
Yeah, I should have. They're available in most stores.
I would have done would you have been down to do like a 1 chip challenge before we start the podcast?
No. It would have been at the end.
See, this is the kind of decision making.
One last dab.
I would have been like, I'll do it right at the beginning. What's the worst that could happen?
What's the worst that could happen?
You're like, well, none of that was usable. You were just all episode long.
So they make they call the original one hot sauce X or something, whatever I said earlier.
Okay.
Because they were trying to license the name, and so then they had to go to print with like something else. And he's like,
some
just call it
hell-based name later. Yeah, sure.
Just call it X, and the X kind of stuck. And then I don't know, that Hot Ones show I guess got pretty popular.
It sure did, John.
And then they've been in partnership with it ever since. So that's how the Heatonist brand actually grew. And so I've talked to some people inside Heatonist, and like I said, I have sources inside or close to, I should say.
You place them there strategically just for this.
I do that. Yeah,
content?
I have one of those in every company.
Boy.
And they have said that obviously the Hot Ones partnership has been very good, but there's a very interesting complaint about this type of partnership that I wouldn't have expected. And it's like, you are pretty much at the whim of how popular the show is at any given time. And if you look at the views of this current season of Hot Ones that has thus far had like Shane Gillis, Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds were just on there.
Sure.
As we're recording this, it's had some big episodes, but if you look at just kind of the average views, it's down.
Interesting.
So as Hot Ones gets, Hot Ones is such a scaled out show that even down is a lot of views, but that actually affects Heatonist sales quite a bit.
To be fair to Hot Ones, the show, how popular was just the hot sauce company going to be without the show?
Right. Yeah. But I do think it's also affecting the sale because I think I looked into this. How much revenue does Hot Ones do?
What you're saying is they kind of missed it. Well, actually, you said they did sell already, so like somebody got out at the right time.
So like the Sean and the original co-founder, so what was his name, Chris Schoenberger, they got picked up by BuzzFeed. So BuzzFeed did buy it, but now BuzzFeed's looking to offload it.
So BuzzFeed's the sucker in this.
Yeah, BuzzFeed's the one holding the bag.
Nice.
But honestly, BuzzFeed's the one holding the bag on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of their thing.
They stick with stuff too long. So some rumors are, I don't have any insight into how much overall revenue Hot Ones does, but some insights are that they do about 30 million in revenue. They're looking to sell for about 70 million. So if they do 30 million in revenue, I don't know what they do in profit, but their deal with Heatonist is that like that 30 million doesn't include Heatonist sales. So they have some other deal with Heatonist where they're making just a fee off of every sale, like a Mr. Wonderful, like royalty type thing, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're still tied together, but you just don't get a piece of it.
A lot of people don't know that they're not the same company.
Sure. Yeah.
And yeah, so I think if I'm looking at Hot, like who do you think could buy Hot Ones? Do you think it could
Elon
sell?
Musk.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem like a portfolio buy for him. Like is it going to help me create chaos? I mean, yeah, it's hot sauce. You can create chaos with hot sauce.
Go back to the concert example. That's chaos in a bottle, which unironically sounds like a name of a hot sauce.
He's like,
Chaos
look, we're going to repurpose this whole thing. But I think if they acquire Hot Ones, the show, they don't also acquire Heatonist.
It's fair. Okay.
So,
right. So some kind of media.
It'd have to be
holder.
So there is a person in the media, Samir Chowdhury. He has a popular YouTube channel called Colin and Samir. He proposed something on LinkedIn that I think is actually a pretty good idea. He said he thinks Spotify should buy Hot Ones. He's like, they've already done deals this size or bigger for just a media property, for Joe Rogan, for Alex Cooper, for Emma Chamberlain. And they are the ones that could like actually make that worthwhile. Like they could have bonus content on Spotify and stuff like that, right? And I'm like, okay, not a bad idea. But if I'm staying on that same line, if we could figure out how to get Heatonist rolled into the deal, I think Amazon's the buyer. Because Amazon's a media company and Amazon is also a physical product company.
Yeah, it is. It is both of those things, I suppose.
It's less fun than Elon Musk.
But okay, to be fair, Amazon, you could say that about basically anything. It's all kinds of companies at this point.
Yeah, but scaled out tech companies, but Spotify's not really. They're not they're not in the physical product game at all.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you were like, who's going to buy this, whatever company in the world, Amazon could be a potential buyer. So like, is it really that much better of a fit for this than anything else? I mean, I get where you're coming from.
I think Amazon's kind of a unique fit for this.
It's true.
Better than other companies. That doesn't mean this is a good fit for Amazon.
Yeah.
But they're a better fit for this than other companies are, I think.
Yeah, that might be one of the... You're saying like they might be able to get Heatonist in the deal because that would...
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I get it. That's a unique thing that they'd have, sure.
Yeah, and they're doing not dissimilar types of deals. So before Mr. Beast was in the news for certain like sexual harassment that he didn't do, but somebody on his team did.
He did it.
Right?
I'm here to tell you, he did it.
Yeah.
I have a mole in Mr. Beast company.
In the Mr. Beast camp.
He did all of it. He was behind the whole thing.
So Amazon Prime launched they've announced a game show with him. So it's going to be like the biggest game show ever. But that makes a lot of sense because he sells Feastables through Amazon. So it's like there's this tie-in of like, yeah, we're going to do a game show on Amazon Prime, and obviously Feastables is going to be integrated.
Sure.
So yeah, I think Amazon's the buyer here for Heatonist. I can't personally think of a better buyer, and I think they're a better buyer than Spotify. I think an interesting buyer, Google can't buy it because they own YouTube, and then they would be getting into not just the platform game, but they would then be a publisher, and a lot of their rights and abilities to moderate content depend on them being a platform, not a publisher.
Interesting. Yeah, we're still doing that little song and dance, huh?
Yeah. I think another company that could buy it is like New York Times. So did you know that New York Times now doesn't make most of their money off of media? It's mostly off of games. It's like Wordle.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, I mean, I don't know how hot sauce ties into that, but...
Wait, hold on a second. Isn't there a natural... I mean, I don't know what was the evaluation? What are they looking for? Asking price?
They're looking for $70 million. I don't know if they're going to get it.
I don't know if this has to... Is an ongoing partnership... forced upon you if you make this purchase? Because couldn't another hot sauce company just purchase it and be like, we'll promote our own on that show?
That would be another play. I think
that would be pretty sweet. Like Tapatio is like,
yeah, Tabasco.
All right,
Tapatio,
Sean Evans, put on the
Sriracha,
sombrero
yeah.
first of all.
Yep, yeah,
obviously.
Let's put a bald white guy.
Yeah,
in a
mariachi
sombrero.
band is the only music we play on the show.
Yeah,
yeah.
No, I think that would be another potential buyer. Is like Heinz, or who owns Heinz? Is it like Nestle or something like that? Maybe something like that. I think could buy it. The other, I think that Barstool might not be a bad buyer either, because they do a lot of like blended content and commerce type stuff where they sell product, or they have like a pizza company or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a little too hinged for Barstool though.
Well, I mean, they would unhinge it. They would remove the hinges.
That's true. So
Which honestly could be what Hot Ones the show needs.
My next question is, do you think that Hot Ones can survive without Sean Evans? Or do you think he's integral too? Because the format kind of lives without him.
I mean, is the show going to collapse without him? No. But is the show as good without him? No.
I think he's part of why it's hinged. So if Barstool bought it...
He is pretty mellow.
Honestly, if Barstool bought it, I bet Dave Portnoy would just want to do it.
I mean,
and it would lose some audience. It would gain some audience. I think it would be maybe net out to a loss.
There's no shortage of creators at Barstool, so they could have any one of them do it. Who's the other big one who's kind of popular lately?
Big Cat, KFC.
I want to say Bearcat. Big Cat.
Dude, Bearcat's a better name for him. Why didn't he go do that?
It's not a real animal. Bearcat.
Yeah, big cats are real though.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
that's true. He was like, "Hey,
he's like, I'm not trying to get mythological about it."
Right? Yeah, I want to be unhinged, but like, let's keep it real. Like,
unhinged in this reality.
I could be a panther. I could be a puma. I could be any kind of big cat.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to keep myself in a box.
Right.
Yeah, you'd be a decent host.
Barstool would do. I don't know if Barstool can play in the $70 million acquisition space though.
No idea.
They were not financially doing well last year when Dave Portnoy bought the company back. I mean, it was a pretty good acquisition. He bought it back for like $1 or whatever.
Nice.
But that means they weren't doing well.
What's your read on Portnoy? Are you a fan?
I think he's doing a thing. I think he's got a bit, you know what I mean?
I mean, everybody does. Everybody has their own bit.
So
you're the guy wearing that shirt over there.
That's true.
Nice bit.
Over here wearing a shirt with a fucking front pocket.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, that's such a...
What a fool.
What a douche. So, yeah, I think... I don't know. I think Dave... I don't know. I don't know if... I think part of the reasons people... I think part of the reasons people like Hot Ones is because it's like... It's kind of sanitary. It's like the new version of television. It's got a lot of mass appeal. Even if you like a lot of stuff that's more unhinged, like Barstool's type stuff, you're like, yeah, I can do Hot Ones if there's somebody good on there. But if you want stuff that's a little more sanitary, like television, you can still do Hot Ones. It's got a lot of mass appeal. If Barstool took it another direction, then
I've got another buyer.
Okay, Shane Gillis.
Close.
Okay,
Donald Trump. Take some of that campaign budget. Put it in the production of Hot Ones.
He's like, I match the sauces.
You interview your political opponents, make them eat your hot sauce. I don't know how you book them. You just give them enough money they can't refuse it.
Worry about that later.
You make them offer you can't refuse. A lot of people, they can't handle hot sauce. Not a great impression, but
DJT Media. That's a real brand. It's publicly traded.
There you go. True
Social is their main asset. It's meme stock basically.
They could upsell hot sauce on True Social.
Yeah,
natural business
their
model.
annual revenues would basically quintuple if he bought Hot Ones. So
this sounds like a match made in heaven.
Honestly, DJT, if
he's the color of some hot sauces already.
BuzzFeed's pretty left leaning as a media organization, so I don't think they would ever consider selling to Donald Trump. But if they would consider selling to Donald Trump, DJT Media, like that would actually be a pretty decent portfolio buy.
Dude, a lot of people just said the same thing about Twitter. I can imagine a more left leaning. They sold to Elon Musk. So.
Yeah, but he wasn't like right leaning then. He's gotten more unhinged since.
No, I mean, okay.
Or if he was, he wasn't open about it. He wasn't like
a closet conservative. You're saying?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
fair, maybe. He also had a glow up. Have you seen pictures of this dude from the 90s?
Yeah, he was pretty balding.
Yeah, and he was like frail. No, he's just like...
Yeah, his hair went through the same renaissance that LeBron James's did when he went to LA.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen Elon's hair like sweat down his face, but sure. Isn't that what happened with the headband thing? I think I might be guilty of headline reading there.
Yeah.
But it was something like that, right?
Yeah, I saw an AI video, so it probably happened.
Something happened with his hair in a game. To be fair, Elon Musk doesn't show up to work and sweat all over the place. I mean, I don't know that for certain. I've never been to the Tesla factory, but
anyway, I mean, so that's the story of Heatonist. If I'm going to kind of break down a couple things that I think that are like real practical takeaways from this whole thing, I think media and commerce, pretty good play. I do think if I'm looking at sort of the traffic of Heatonist over the last little bit, plus inside sources, it is a struggle for them. I think that they're so tied to the show, and it's pretty hard for them to break out of that. Like, it's actually kind of hard for them to advertise and get a return on their ad spend because like everybody just already knows them from the show. So like, what did our Facebook ads do? We don't know.
Yeah, hard to
everybody already knew
attribute.
who we were. Yeah. I think that is but it's like that's a problem you'd rather have than the problem of like we can't sell enough hot sauce. So I think that's a good move. Like that content commerce play, if you can find that right fit, is a really good move. Another thing I think is like a good sort of takeaway for anybody is curate, like they don't produce any hot sauce. It's all third-party partners. And so like curating something and like bringing it into a bundle, but even more so than that, like there's already a traffic place where this thing is sold. Can I find like another traffic place? So instead of selling it at the farmer's market, can I like bring it to concerts? You know what I mean? Or can I don't know. And I mean, a very simple modern day version is like if, apparel brand A that's your competitor is killing it on Facebook ads, like maybe you just need to like conquer TikTok or YouTube or something like that. Or you need to have a bunch of creators that just like go off on Snapchat. I don't fucking know, dude, but like something else, like don't just try and play the same game they're playing.
Yeah. You got to disrupt the game.
Yeah, like LeBron.
Like naturally, like LeBron. You got to sweat your hair off.
Yeah, sweat your hair. That is very disruptive to the game.
I mean, you're playing hard at that point.
It's the only person I've ever seen sweat. No one else is working as hard as him. You know how you know? Who else's hair is coming off mid?
Follicles.
Sweating follicles, buckets.
Sweating follicles and getting buckets.
All right, well, that's today's episode. That's Heatonist. That's Hot Ones. That's our breakdown. Like wherever you're at, subscribe, give a review, do all the things that people say to do on that channel. We'll see you next time. Bye.